Joy was a young woman with big dreams. She lived in a small apartment in the busy city of New York. Each day, she worked hard as a waitress in a cozy cafe, hoping to save enough money to start her own bakery one day. Joy loved baking. The smell of fresh bread and sweet pastries made her heart happy. One sunny morning, Joy was serving coffee to a group of customers when a tall, handsome man walked in. He had dark hair and deep blue eyes that sparkled like the ocean. Joy noticed he was well dressed and carried an air of confidence. He took a seat by the window, and Joy felt a strange pull towards him. Her curiosity got the better of her, and she approached his table with a smile. "Good morning, can I take your order?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "Good morning, I'll have a cappuccino, please," he replied, flashing a charming smile that made Joy's heart race. "I'll be right back," Joy said, surprised by her own excitement. As she walked away, she couldn't help but glance back at him. When Joy returned with his coffee, she introduced herself. "I'm Joy, by the way. What's your name?" "Stephen," he said, looking into her eyes. "Nice to meet you, Joy." They talked for a while, and Joy learned that Stephen was a billionaire who owned a successful tech company. He traveled a lot for work but had decided to take a break and enjoy some time in the city. Joy felt nervous around Stephen but also excited. She had never met a billionaire before. As they chatted, they discovered they both loved baking. Stephen confessed that he often tried to bake cookies but usually burned them. Joy laughed and promised to teach him someday. Over the next few weeks, Joy and Stephen continued to meet at the cafe. They shared stories about their lives, dreams, and favorite foods. Joy learned about Stephen's childhood and how he started his company from scratch. He worked hard and faced many challenges, but his passion kept him going. Joy opened up about her dreams of owning a bakery. She told Stephen about her special recipes and how much she loved creating delicious treats. Stephen listened carefully, encouraging her every step of the way. One day, Joy invited Stephen to her small apartment to bake together. "It will be fun. We can make cookies," she suggested with excitement. "Sounds great. I'd love to learn from the expert," Stephen replied, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. That Saturday, Joy prepared her kitchen for their baking session. She had all the ingredients ready: flour, sugar, chocolate chips, and more. When Stephen arrived, he brought a big smile and a bottle of sparkling lemonade to celebrate their baking adventure. As they baked, they laughed and shared stories. Joy showed Stephen how to mix the dough, shape the cookies, and watch them bake in the oven. Stephen was surprisingly good at it, and soon, the kitchen was filled with the sweet smell of chocolate chip cookies. "Wow, these smell amazing," Stephen exclaimed, his mouth watering. After they pulled the cookies out of the oven, they sat on the kitchen floor, enjoying their warm treats and talking about the dreams. Joy felt a special connection with Stephen, something she had never experienced before. As their friendship grew, Joy found herself thinking about Stephen more often. He was kind, funny, and genuinely interested in her. One evening, while they were watching the sunset from Joy's apartment window, Stephen turned to her and said, "Joy, I really enjoy spending time with you. I'd like to take you on a proper date." Joy's heart skipped a beat. She couldn't believe it. "I would love that," she replied, trying to hide her excitement. They decided to go to a fancy restaurant in the city. Joy was nervous about what to wear and how to act. She wanted to look perfect for Stephen. After trying on several outfits, she chose a simple yet elegant dress that made her feel beautiful. When Joy arrived at the restaurant, she saw Stephen waiting for her. He looked handsome in his tailored suit, and Joy felt lucky to be with him. They enjoyed a delicious dinner, filled with laughter and stories. "To Joy, I like you a lot. You make me happy," Stephen said, looking directly into her eyes. Joy blushed and smiled. "I feel the same way, Stephen." After dinner, they took a walk through the city's beautiful park. The stars twinkled above as they strolled side by side, their hands brushing against each other. Joy felt a warmth spreading in her heart, and she wondered if this was love. As their relationship blossomed, Joy and Stephen faced challenges. Joy worried about the different worlds. She was a waitress with big dreams, while Stephen was a billionaire with a busy life. Would their love be strong enough to overcome the differences? One evening, Joy expressed her concerns. "Stephen, I love spending time with you, but sometimes I feel like we come from different worlds. I'm just a waitress, and you're a billionaire." Stephen took her hands in his. "Joy, it doesn't matter where we come from. What matters is how we feel about each other. I admire your dreams and your passion. You inspire me." Joy felt relieved but still uncertain. She knew that Stephen's life was full of responsibilities and pressures. She didn't want to be a distraction in his busy life. One day, Stephen invited Joy to a charity event his company was hosting. "It will be fun, and you'll meet some amazing people," he said. Joy felt nervous about attending such an event. "Are you sure it's okay for me to come? I'm just a waitress." "Of course, you're important to me, and I want you by my side," Stephen reassured her. The night of the charity event arrived, and Joy was both excited and anxious. She wore a beautiful dress and did her hair, wanting to impress Stephen and his friends. When they arrived at the venue, Joy felt out of place among the elegant guests. Stephen introduced Joy to everyone, and they were polite but distant. Joy felt like an outsider, and she worried that she wouldn't fit into Stephen's world. As the evening went on, Stephen noticed Joy's discomfort. "Are you okay?" he asked, concern in his eyes. "I'm fine," Joy replied, forcing a smile. "It's just different here. Let's get some fresh air," Stephen suggested, leading her outside. They stepped onto the balcony, where the city lights twinkled below. "You don't have to impress anyone but me," Stephen said softly. "I like you for who you are, not for where you work or who you know." Joy felt a wave of relief wash over her. "Thank you, Stephen. I just want to be the best version of myself." "You already are," he said, taking her hand. They stood together in comfortable silence, realizing that their connection was more important than the opinions of others. As the weeks passed, Joy and Stephen's relationship deepened. They enjoyed quiet nights in, baking together, and sharing their dreams. However, the pressures of Stephen's work began to strain their relationship. One afternoon, Stephen received a call about a major project that required his attention. He had to leave town for several weeks, and Joy felt a pang of sadness. "I'll miss you, Joy," he said, holding her close. "But I promise to call you every day." "I understand, Stephen. Work is important," Joy replied, trying to be supportive. As the days turned into weeks, Joy felt lonely. She missed Stephen's laughter and warmth. They talked on the phone every day, but it wasn't the same. Joy started to worry that their relationship might not survive the distance. One night, Joy decided to bake cookies and think about her feelings. As she mixed the dough, she realized how much she loved Stephen. He made her feel valued and cherished. She couldn't let fear ruin what they had. After weeks apart, Stephen surprised Joy with a visit. He stood at her apartment door, holding a bouquet of flowers. "I couldn't stay away any longer," he said, smiling. Joy's heart soared. "I'm so happy to see you," she exclaimed, taking the flowers. They embraced tightly, feeling the love that had grown even stronger during their time apart. "I missed you so much," Stephen confessed. "I realized that work can wait, but we can't." They spent the evening together, cooking and laughing. Joy felt complete again, and she knew that their love was worth fighting for. As summer approached, Joy and Stephen's relationship flourished. They traveled together, exploring new places and creating unforgettable memories. Joy felt more confident in their love, and Stephen supported her dreams of opening a bakery. One day, while walking in the park, Stephen stopped and took Joy's hands. "Joy, I want to help you make your dream come true. Let's start planning your bakery together." Joy's eyes widened in disbelief. "Are you serious? You would do that for me?" "Of course, I believe in you," he said, his gaze filled with love. Joy felt tears of happiness in her eyes. They spent the next few months planning her bakery, visiting different locations, and testing recipes. Joy felt grateful to have Stephen by her side, cheering her on. As autumn arrived, Joy's bakery was finally ready to open. She invited Stephen to the grand opening. The day was filled with excitement, and Joy felt proud of what she had accomplished. After the opening, as they strolled through the park, Stephen suddenly stopped. He looked serious, and Joy felt her heart race. "Joy, you've brought so much joy into my life. I can't imagine my future without you," he said, kneeling down on one knee. He pulled out a beautiful ring and asked, "Will you marry me?" Joy gasped, tears of joy streaming down her face. "Yes, yes, I will," she cried, throwing her arms around him. Stephen slipped the ring onto her finger, and they embraced tightly. Joy felt like she was living in a dream. They had overcome so many challenges together, and now they were ready to start a new chapter in their lives. Joy and Stephen's wedding was a beautiful celebration of love. They were surrounded by family and friends, all cheering for their happiness. Joy wore a stunning dress, and Stephen looked dashing in his suit. As they exchanged vows, Joy felt a wave of love and gratitude. They promised to support each other's dreams and be there through thick and thin. After the wedding, Joy opened her bakery, which quickly became a local favorite. With Stephen's support, she turned her passion into a successful business. They continued to travel together, explore new places, and create lasting memories. Joy realized that love was not just about sharing dreams but also about facing challenges together. Stephen was not just a billionaire, he was her partner, her best friend, and the love of her life. Together, they built a beautiful life filled with love, laughter, and delicious treats, proving that true love knows no boundaries and can conquer anything. Answer: Joy and Stephen lived happily ever after, side by side, creating their own version of paradise in the bustling city, where dreams came true.